I, 30F, might get dumped because I invited my boyfriend, 35M, on a weekend away. Too long did not read. My boyfriend might break up with me because I invited him on a couple's weekend that used to be a girls' weekend. I, 30F, and my significant other, 35M, have been together for 2 months. Super short amount of time, but it started quickly and intensely. And now that I'm reflecting, he probably was love-bombing me. I've been noticing this really concerning pattern that makes me think he might be emotionally abusive. I've never been in this situation before, so I can't tell if I'm overly sensitive or if my concerns are genuine. My boyfriend is loyal, generous, funny, and caring. However, I've been noticing this pattern with him lately where he has intense anger reactions to little things. One example. We went out for drinks. My drink came before his, so I started sipping on mine while we waited for his. I got halfway through when I offered him a taste. He said no, all good, and his beer arrived, so we carried on. The drive home hours later was weirdly quiet. I can tell when he's tense or moody, so I asked what was up. He said, "You almost finished your entire drink without offering me any. I would have never done that. I would have considered you first, but I guess I'm just a different person." When I said, "Did that offend you?" I wasn't even thinking. He was like, "No, it didn't bother me." Basically, he denied his feelings about the whole thing even though he was acting unhappy. Another example. He is a digital music composer in his spare time. He was showing me his latest draft at the dinner table. While I was listening, I stood up to clear our plates, so intent on focusing on the music that I didn't notice the plates clinking together. He immediately got pissed off and shut down. Later that night, he brought up that I didn't listen and didn't appreciate him enough. When I confirmed I was indeed listening and compared it favorably to a famous musician, he got pissed at me again about that. It means I'm not original enough. A final example before the story. It's a lot. We had plans to go to rock climbing. It's how we met. We're both avid climbers. But the day slipped away from us both and it got so late I told him I couldn't do it and it was too tired. He flipped out, threw a fit, was like, "I feel like I can't make plans with you, you're not dependable, blah blah." This is all ridiculous. I know it's ridiculous. Each time we have these disagreements, as there have been many in such a short amount of time, I want to confront the problem, apologize, and sort it out. He shuts down. He refuses to listen to me. He deflects. Then he gives me the silent treatment. Now on to last night. My roommate, boyfriend, and I were hanging out at my place talking. I was telling them how I was invited to my sister's place in the next city over for a girls' weekend, but she said, "Oh, my boyfriend is in town. I want to see him, so he's coming with us." Cool, whatever, but it means I can now invite my boyfriend. He can meet my sister and we could have a nice weekend away. I was talking about this in front of both my roomie and boyfriend before inviting my BF. Well, he flips the out. He says, "Why would you invite me? These were your and sister's plans. You're just inviting me to balance out the group. Don't pull me into that shit." WTF. Roomie and I are dead quiet listening to this. My first reaction is that I was somehow insensitive, so I calmly apologize and say what I was thinking. That it was a girls' weekend, now it's not, want to hang out with you, etc. all true. He tells me, "I can't believe you think that'd be okay, and, your apology doesn't hold water. I don't believe you're sorry. I don't know what to think or feel about this," and it got to the point where I was like, "Jesus, is this fixable?" Basically, "Are you breaking up with me?" He says, "I don't know," and just leaves. Every time we've parted after an argument, we've at least said, "I'll talk to you later, I just need a moment to cool off." Now he's dead silent. He won't contact me. I've tried calling him once this afternoon and he didn't pick up, text, or return my call. He's totally stonewalling me. I think he might have a mood disorder or something, but I'm no doctor, so whatever. And it doesn't matter anyways. But is this emotional manipulation? Am I missing something? Am I being emotionally abused? By the way, I know there are two sides to every story. I have thought and thought again about every one of these incidents and somehow think, yes, I was in the wrong. But after last night, when my roommate said, "That was insane, you didn't do anything wrong," I'm now reevaluating every disagreement we've had. I can be airheaded, but never cruel. I just can't wrap my head around this behavior. Update. I've had all day being stonewalled to think and decided to end it. Going over all of this has been illuminating. In the end, him giving me the silent treatment for a whole day allowed me to see him for what he is. He sounds like a crazy person. Run. Unfortunately, I also experienced someone like this. From my experience, the behavior only gets more weird and irritating over time. Eventually he'll be telling you stuff like he's upset that you had a better climb than him, or he's upset that the waitress brought you the better looking piece of salmon. Oh, break up with him. He sounds emotionally unstable. Yes, he is manipulative and emotionally abusive. I don't know if he has mental health issues, but even if he does, that's zero excuse for this behavior. You can 100% expect it to escalate over time. You know the right move here. Get out. ASAP. My ex-husband was like this. I'm glad you are recognizing what's happening because I was being boiled slowly and didn't put it together. This will continue to escalate, he will accuse you of things, and if you let it continue long enough he may get physically violent. My ex abused my pets and even killed one as part of his irrationality and mind games he played with me. 19M. Looked through my girlfriend's, 18F, phone and now I'm disgusted. 19M. I'm in an exclusive relationship with my 18F girlfriend of 6 months. We've been exclusive and started talking around 9 months ago and I've known her for almost a year now. Recently I just looked through her phone when she was asleep because I had my doubts whether this was genuine or not and unfortunately saw exactly what I knew I would see. I've been cheated on before and she knows this, but apparently she doesn't care. I saw her texting and seeing other guys dating back to when we were still talking, exclusively. And if I was to text a girl, she would get mad at me, but now I find out that she was doing the same. Right after she turned 18 she immediately got Tinder and Hinge and ended up going out with a guy on Tinder, to a place she loves that she always tells me she'll take me to but never has. I have no idea what happened as we were on winter break and she never told me anything about it, but I just stumbled upon it today. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't hurt by this, but frankly looking at it now, just saw the messages a couple of hours ago. I just don't care anymore and I can't seem to look at her without feeling the need to throw up. We always got along very well and there were no signs of anything like this happening, although I had my doubts and looked through her phone because of my previous experiences and her mindset somewhat played a part in it too. I found messages of her telling other guys that she loves them and that she had fun on her date, which just made me lose all of my interest immediately. How should I handle this? I know quite a bit about her and I think it would be a waste of all this time if I left this hurt and she didn't. Yes, while I could be the bigger person, I'm not going to do that because I want her to know the feeling too. Everything about our relationship was good. I took her on dates, our intimate life was great, and we were looked at as a cute couple. I can't seem to wrap my head around this, especially her not telling me and then trying to hide it from me when I saw her again. How should I handle this? If anyone has an idea besides leaving her, which I plan on, and has anyone been in these same shoes? First off, I just want to start by saying thank you guys for the responses and DMs. I'm trying my best to read through all of them and I appreciate the input. I can see that some people are confused on the timeline and a few other things, so let me explain. I met her in fall 2022 and at first we talked and said we'd only be friends with benefits and no feelings would be involved. Then we ended up catching feelings, but we felt the same. Although she had just gotten out of a relationship around when I met her. So she said she needed time before going back to dating. Not sure what this meant, to be honest. We basically were a couple without a label for this time. But I respected it and we didn't officially start dating until spring 2023. The talking exclusively thing that I mentioned above was something that we both agreed on. Come to find out, she's been texting a couple of people that she's had a past with over the course of our relationship and the summer, and while I wasn't with her, and she clearly tried to hide it. I see a lot of people saying leave without explanation, and I think that's probably my best choice after thinking it out, being more sober, because as a few of you pointed out, I don't want to go to her level, although it's tempting. I'm also not gonna tell her anything and just wait a few days until I know I'm not gonna make stupid decisions and then end it. See y'all in the gym. I'll dump her ASAP. What are you waiting for? Breaking up with her in a mature way will piss her off way more than some dramatic thing. Don't stoop to her level. Don't even tell her what you know, she'll be wondering what happened for months. Just leave her. You're going to look like a fool when you admit you snooped through her phone, no matter what you found. Just say, you know why I'm done with you, and be done with her. You are 18, and you have tons of life to live without adding drama or bullshit. Intentionally move on. Never waste your time getting even with people that are behind you. Husband, 27M. Made what I, 27F, felt was a mean comment. Am I being too sensitive? A little backstory. I, 27F, have been with my husband, 27M, for nearly a decade. For the past 3 years I've been a Som. I do all the cooking and cleaning and all the care for my child. Which I did all the cleaning and cooking and laundry even before I became a som. I worked up until 2020 when the pandemic hit and then became a som. My husband is the only one who works and pays for everything. Which he feels entitles him to make all the financial decisions and doesn't really help with our child. He's never taken him to the doctor or even gone to the emergency room with us when my son has had an emergency. My situation in which in writing this is because today we were looking at vehicles and we both liked different ones. We were speaking to his family members about it, a married couple. And my husband makes the comment of, when you work to take care of me and pay for everything you can get whatever CAD you want. Everyone got quiet and it was really embarrassing. Instant tears ran down my face and I said my goodbyes to everyone. He doesn't feel what he said was wrong. He's always saying things like this and I find it very hurtful. It makes me feel like what I do doesn't matter or hold any value. Am I overreacting? Am I being too sensitive? I just can't stop crying about it. I'm always made to feel like what I do isn't significant. Update. He's been acting like nothing happened and says that what he said was funny and it's my own insecurities as to why I felt hurt by the comment, but I asked his family members if they thought it was fucked up and they agreed. Update 2. I guess I never considered my husband to be financially abusive. We have a joint account and I'm able to access the money and buy stuff within reason. Sometimes though if he feels I spend too much, especially on groceries others on things for my son, he tells me to stop spending all his money, and I tell him that he can't just buy all that stuff himself, but he gets kind of irritated when I say it. I really don't try to spend all his money though, but everything is so expensive. There's also a very decent chunk of change in the bank and he owns the house we live in. Update 3. After some discussing and a bit of back and forth, he did apologize for what he said and admitted it was wrong. I only have one more course to take before I can get into the nursing program for the college I attend, and hopefully I'll be able to find some type of part-time work until then. I'm very appreciative of all the replies and comments and even the private messages. Things aren't where I'd like for them to be, but I'm glad my husband and I could talk about it and that he was finally able to see my viewpoint. I'm going to speak to him again about maybe some couples counseling and maybe even individual counseling. You're not being too sensitive. What he said is disrespectful and out of order. You need to talk to him directly about this subject and how he is dismissing your value while propping himself up. You are a team together, and if he genuinely feels you do not contribute to the same extent he does, something has to change. This will only be done directly. Oh my God. I can't believe he said that and in front of other people. Wow, he really has no appreciation for you. Dude seems like an ass. You should get marriage counseling to sort it out. He either has resentment of being financially responsible for everything and/or he doesn't value your contributions. Either way, it's unhealthy to be in a marriage where mutual respect is absent. Throw the whole husband away. He sucks. Maybe it's time for you to work again and the baby in school. He will never stop making those comments, and if you ever separate he will leave you with nothing. He's that type. Based on this post. I, 20M, had a romantic getaway planned with my 21F, GF. For the last 3 weeks I have been planning a romantic getaway as a surprise. I told my girlfriend, "Hey babe, I need you to make sure you don't plan anything Saturday and Sunday of this weekend so we can have our getaway." I have been constantly reminding her in cute ways. I told her that we were going to the mountains just for the night since we both work Monday. Well, I reminded her last night, after her being shady and sus, meaning like she hadn't been responding. You know the little things guys looks for, just like check up, I don't care what you're doing or who you are with, I just want to know you are safe and okay, that's all. And well, she didn't do that yesterday. Well, I woke up this morning being August 19, 2023 a little before 6 so I could go to the gym, get a shower and be at my house by 8 to meet her there and leave to go to our Airbnb we booked Monday. Well, when I got home this morning she wasn't here. And now here I am 5 hours later not knowing where she is or if she's okay. She hasn't responded to my texts or phone calls and I just don't know what to do. Lol. Anyone help a young guy out here? Update. Thanks to everyone who has seen the recent one and been kind to me. I really do appreciate the advice and wisdom some of y'all have shared. Makes me happy knowing there's still kind people out here. We got the Airbnb, the cops were waiting. The host ran over and told me that they were waiting for me, so we all walked up together. Kicked them out. They were about to drive off before my ex broke my windshield on my old restored 88 F-150. So she ended up getting arrested because I pressed charges and she was trying for a pity party. I thanked the officers and the host told me that she was sorry. I asked her if I could cancel this weekend but look for a weekend in the future to go with someone else when the right one comes along. She agreed and now I'm on my way home feeling better than I did when I posted this morning. Update 2. Sorry for the lack of story. I was really messed up last night typing this up and now I realize I did leave a lot of story out. So continuing between the two. Once I left the gym yesterday I didn't see her or hear from her for about 5 hours. I got concerned and did what any BF partner would do. Drive by her house to make sure she's okay. When I got there her parents, who adore me, answered the door and told me what was going on because they didn't approve of it. Once I realized she was up there with her AP I got my cousin and drove up there to meet her and AP, to kick them out and hopefully salvage the weekend with my cousin. I called the cops on my way up there and they said they would wait till I got there. Then boom, confrontation happened, which is what I posted above. Sorry again for the confusion. ! You have been dumped, darling. Can you see if she has read her texts or have been active on social media? If this is not something she normally does then I would be a bit worried and maybe message her friends or family to see if she is okay at least. What the fuck is your edit talking about? I do not understand. Can you still go on the trip? Go have fun on your own. Just go have fun yourself. I'm not sure how long you two have been dating but I'm guessing this was too much too soon.